Hi, this is Lieutenant Dan East with the Wichita Police Department, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Badge. With me today is Andrew Krall with the Kansas DUI Impact Center. We're going to be talking about the services that they provide and also a little bit about the gala that they're going to be having on June 8th. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, you're more than welcome. If you could, why don't you tell us a bit about the history of the Kansas DUI Impact Center?
Sure. So the Kansas DUI Impact Center was founded in 1987 by Mary Ann Corey as the DUI Victim Center of Kansas. And it was founded based on a very tragic family event with the death of Mary Ann's very close friend as a result of a DUI collision.
Okay. And as with most organizations, what is the mission of the DUI Impact Center?
Well, our mission is to serve victims. We
Okay.
provide direct services to victims who are involved in any sort of DUI-related crime. And then after that, above and beyond that, we increase awareness throughout the community of the dangers of impaired driving.
Okay. So you have victim services, and then you're also with education also.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. And what I think we may have kind of touched on it briefly, but what are the services that you guys provide?
Well, we provide advocacy to victims, so we help them throughout the judicial process. So we coordinate their case, we go with them to court, we provide transportation and child care while they're in court. We provide support groups, and we console the family throughout the medical aspect of it. If there's a serious injury, we can help them with medical referrals, with therapy and counseling. We just try to relieve sort of all of the negative effects of a DUI tragedy.
Okay, so you're just like a partner with those
Absolutely.
that are affected by the tragedy of a DUI, and you're a partner with them in helping them through the process and whatever the steps in that process may be.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And I also understand there is a panel.
Yes. We educate DUI offenders who are recently adjudicated. So if you are have been convicted of a DUI, we have an educational program where we allow our victim volunteers to have this emotional exchange where they meet with offenders. They tell them about their story in hopes to have an emotional connection which will change the behavior or the perception that the offender has of impaired driving.
Okay, all right. What volunteer opportunities are available at the Kansas DUI Impact Center?
Well, we have a wide array of volunteer opportunities. Right now our volunteers are building our Riverfest float.
Oh,
so they
outstanding.
do, yeah, absolutely. So we do everything from our involvement in community events like Riverfest, where we go out to increase community awareness and share the message of sober driving with Wichitans. We have volunteers who console victims, so they do nothing but call people who have been involved and just check on them and see how their day is going, and just give them the happy phone call or that friendly voice just to say, how's your day? It's the anniversary of your son's death, or how are you feeling? We know you're recovering from a serious injury. We mail wellness correspondence, so we mail cards just to keep in contact with people who are going through a rough time. We visit them at home or in hospitals.
So it sounds like you're a big support system. For
Absolutely.
Those,
we just
affected.
try to comfort those in need.
How does the DUI Impact Center, with their partnerships with either the Wichita Police Department or other law enforcement agencies, obviously throughout the state, how does...
Well, we partner with law enforcement for DUI Checkpoints, so our volunteers actually would go out and provide support to officers and just any volunteer capacity they can provide. So they help with setup, they help with just manning those checkpoints. We partner with law enforcement for a memorial drive during the holiday season, so just increasing awareness of the dangers of impaired driving during the Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve time, where we have the highest incidence of impaired driving collisions.
And that would also include with the red ribbons,
Yes,
correct, that are on the back
absolutely.
of patrol cars that are
Red
displayed.
Ribbon Week is in October, and that's a time where we just try to increase awareness with schools, and we partner with law enforcement agencies to just spread the word.
How is the DUI Impact Center, how is it funded?
Well, we're funded by grants. We receive a Victims of Crime Act grant through the state, and we also are funded substantially by private donation. We have very generous Kansans who give freely of their time and also their donations that allow us to provide services to victims.
Okay. And I also, like I mentioned earlier, that June 8th is your 2014 Spring Gala
Yes.
that is going to be occurring here in Wichita. Why don't you explain a little bit, talk about that and what's going to be going on and what folks can expect?
Okay, well, it's called the Hope and Spring Gala, and that theme is just that we try to encourage and inspire victims to have hope, which will allow them to maintain a positive mindset while they're going through and overcoming a tragic situation. So during the Hope and Spring Gala, we're going to have dinner prepared by Larkspur, so it'll be an awesome meal. There is going to be a live auction where we are auctioning a private meal with Greg Marshall. We have some really beautiful fine art pieces, some bronze sculptures. We have a private flight and a Stearman 450, and just some really awesome items that might really interest Wichitans who are interested in giving to a great cause. So it's a Heart for the Cause live auction, and it's just an opportunity to contribute to our efforts.
Okay, and I know I mentioned it's on June 8th, but what time does it start on June 8th?
It's from 5 to 8 at a Bode venue on June 8th. We have tickets available on our website, ksdui.org, or by phone, 262-1673.
Okay, so it's just another way that folks can contribute and get involved.
Yes, it's a way to contribute and get involved, but it'll also be a really awesome evening out here in Wichita. So the main event is a live musical performance by Kyle Dillingham, who is a world-renowned violinist who will be performing Broken Beyond Repair, which is a performance highlighting how he salvaged violins and restored them to play beautifully, and just saying, you know, any victim who is in a rough patch who feels like they can't get beyond some loss of life, if they've lost a loved one or a serious injury, and them seeing that hope and just overcoming and getting back to a place of happiness in their lives.
Okay. Before we close here, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, I'd just like to add that the Kansas DUI Impact Center is free of cost to all victims. So if there is anyone who has been involved in a DUI tragedy who is in need of support, we're happy to provide that. We have volunteer opportunities, so as students prepare for summer, please consider us as a place to give back to the community. And also, if you're interested in donating to a great cause, join us for Hope and Spring.
Okay. Just so if somebody is interested in volunteering, is there like a website that they can go to, or as far as an address, if they wanted to come in person or by phone, a way to contact?
Absolutely. So we are located on 3rd and Waco. Our address is 355 North Waco. So anyone is welcome to stop by. We're open 8:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, or you can visit us on the web at ksdui.org.
Outstanding. Well, thank you very much for coming by today. And that will conclude this episode of Behind the Badge. I'm Lieutenant Dan East.